Hi, everyone, and welcome. Welcome to the Beyond the Network series with our tech industry experts. Today from Aruba, from Zebra, and from Ingram Micro. My name is Alexis Cotillas, and I'm the Aruba Business Development Manager for EMEA at Ingram Micro. Today, we will be talking about the long-standing partnership between Zebra and Aruba. For today's discussion, we have a great team of guest speakers that are Tobias van Engen from Aruba. Tobias, good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Drew Ehlers from Zebra. Drew, good morning to you.
Good morning.
And Chido Shara from Ingram Micro. Chido, good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Alexis.
Very happy to have you here with us today, and thank you for joining. So before we dive into today's topic, I'd like to have a quick round of introductions for our guest speakers. Tobias, would you like to go first?
Sure. My name is Tobias van Engen. Within HPE Aruba, I'm EMEA CTO and Senior SE Director.
Thank you, Tobias, and welcome. Drew?
Drew Ehlers with Zebra Technologies. I am the Global Futurist and Head of Global Partners.
Fantastic. Thank you, Drew, and welcome. Chido?
My name is Chido Shara. I'm the responsible Senior Business Manager EMEA for Zebra at Ingram Micro.
Fantastic. Thank you, Chido. So thank you, everyone, for joining. And so without any further ado, let's dive into today's topic. So this question for Tobias and Drew. Can you tell me about how this partnership started between Aruba and Zebra, when and how it started?
Yeah, I think as you look at the two different companies with Aruba and Zebra, we've been in the same environments for decades, helping solve customer problems and driving to the outcomes that they desire. And, it really came down to a couple team members. Mike Tennefoss is one of them, and then Tim Van Evenhoven. And, with different discussions throughout the years, I can remember being at a kickoff for our Savannah platform back in 2018 and 2019, and just talking about the art of the possible with Tim and Mike and a few others, and talking about how do we bring joint value together. And I think that, since then, we've gotten into more of a deeper relationship, past the vendor relationship into really a partnership and really a technical collaboration to optimize the network and device connectivity between our different portfolios of solutions. And I think that's really the kind of the key part about working together, is really helping each other to be successful and really solve those problems for our customers and drive to those joint outcomes that we want to deliver together.
Awesome. Tobias, anything to add to that?
No, I think it's a perfect description. I've been part from the beginning for the EMEA region, but Drew explains it perfectly. I think if we really, want to boil down, we want to drive innovation and we want to drive better outcomes for all these combined customers between Aruba and Zebra.
Fantastic. Thank you. So why are alliances and strong ecosystems very important for vendors like Aruba and Zebra?
So for Aruba, the technology partnerships are key because, there is so many different devices and you want to drive a better security, you want to drive a good connectivity, because many of these devices, and if you look at Zebra devices, they are part of the key operational workflow or key businesses that all these users or all these organizations use these devices. So for us, it is actually giving a more secure and better network infrastructure with some additional innovation. And the only way you can achieve that is by not doing everything yourself, but try to partner with best of breed in the market, right? And that's what we do with Zebra.
Fantastic. Drew?
Yeah, I think Tobias answers it extremely well. I think as you look at it, kind of to simplify it just a little bit, I think, as we look at a kind of a better together strategy as part of our own Zebra go-to-market transformation, through the collaboration of 1 + 1, it equals 3 at the end of the day by, bringing higher value on both sides of the portfolio and bringing those joint solutions together to drive different insights. I think is fantastic, and I think that as you kind of look at the combinatorial value of our ecosystem, just from a Zebra point of view, we have over 10,000 partners today globally. And, Aruba is one of our most strategic partners that we have. And then when you start adding in the other community of the ecosystem, 1 + 1 = 3, but 1 + 1 + 1 = 5. So I think that as we both are focused, extremely hyper-focused on, customer and outcome-focused solutions that drive an outcome, I think that this approach really helps drive the relevant components from a solution point of view to drive those desired outcomes, but also to really tailor it to those customer personas. As new problems start to, enter the different environments that we're jointly in, lots of times then instead of taking little bits of knowledge here and there with lots of effort, working together with Aruba, from a network perspective and then driving an overall kind of combinatorial value with our solutions, it really helps drive our efficiency to really help deliver those outcomes that our customers are looking for.
Fantastic. Thank you. So the slogan for this partnership is Better Together. So what does make Aruba and Zebra better together companies?
So for us, it is actually the partnership is about three things. One is those organizations that are using Aruba and Zebra, if there is an issue, you don't want to get finger pointing. You want to quickly get to resolution. So that is one of the things is back-to-back support to each other. If it is maybe an Aruba device that is broken or a Zebra device, we help each other. We are not pointing each other, but we help each other. And we have multiple examples of that one if somebody is interested. The other part, of course, is making sure all the devices on the network are tested. So if it is a Zebra printer or a Zebra personal shopper device or any other Zebra device, every release of Aruba, we test these devices, making sure you get the most optimal. We also give recommendation on the settings, so you have the most optimal connectivity of the devices on the network. And then the last part is innovation. So how can we drive more and better innovation together to serve those outcomes actually, as Drew is referring to multiple times?
Yeah, I think just to double click on a couple areas that Dobius mentions, which are, definitely our top three as well. I think that joint testing, to provide simple and reliable interoperability, across the joint solutions for the support of the customer, and them being able to call either side and get the same response and support has really been driving a great, user experience from a customer point of view from that, by having that joint, kind of proactiveness around the interoperability. Number two is, I think that as you kind of look at location in general, I think that, the combinatorial value of Aruba and Zebra together, both leaders in providing location data and bringing those kind of overlaps from a Venn diagram together. I think that, the tracking of the Zebra devices at the same time, which brings in to open up new use cases around warehouse workers, frontline workers, retail, driving a better customer experience, being able to interleave tasking into those because we now know the location, we have the device, and we have the worker all together. Now we can start, bringing further value of better together by bringing real-time tasking to provide it, whether it's efficiency within a warehouse or, driving, retail tasking so that, if a high potential customer comes in that has perhaps an offline basket that they've saved in their cart, they're coming in. Now that person can turn into a knowledge worker and provide customer service and heighten that brick and mortar experience too. So I think, that all is delivered through location technology and kind of the insights that's provided, between the two different portfolios. And I think that drives an optimization for all the different outcomes that are people looking for. And I think that as you look at a better together kind of joint solution around Aruba and Zebra today, with so many people having labor challenges today because either we don't have folks that want to take those roles or whatnot, you're also then bringing a better value prop as a employer by deploying these different technologies and solutions, because now that worker can have a great experience through, digitization, through task interleaving, but also being able to drive efficiencies around what they're doing during the day.
Fantastic. Thank you. So from a partner perspective, what is in for them for this partnership? Why they should bet on this partnership between Aruba and Zebra?
So I think there's two sides of the story here, right? You have the Zebra partners and you have the Aruba partners. And what you see is that a lot of organizations, they maybe want to get one solution from one partner. So let's say you have a partner that is using Zebra, maybe also want to do Workforce Connect to do push to talk, or let's say voice over IP in our wording. Then you now have a partner that can offer that in one side, right? So you can offer and make sure you have the best quality of service. But what we also see is that partners try to work together. So you have an Aruba partner, which is very good in doing quality of service on networking and delivering the networking infrastructure, who's going to partner with somebody that is very good in delivering a warehouse solution of Zebra or retail or healthcare, and they are working together on the same project in an optimized way. So that you see two sides of the house. I also see Zebra partners that are going to do a little bit of more network infrastructure also to deliver that one single solution in the most optimized way. So this is what I see from a partner perspective, where I think there is a lot of value in order to deliver a better solution, but also to provide more services and solutions.
Yeah, I think just to double click on what Dobia said, I think as you look at it, kind of as we were discussing before, is the end-to-end solution between our two organizations is there, right? You've got the support infrastructure and whatnot. So what's great about that from a developer mindset, if you're developing further on the software stack or within the hardware ecosystem, you can extend upon that because all that work's been done, right? And so I think that as you kind of think about that, one of our joint partners is Google, and who we'll be with next week. And I think that if you think about Open Locate and the ability to now leverage the stack from a completion in solution point of view, and being able to extend that through either Google Android or into the different use cases that Dobius was just talking about, whether it's in healthcare, whether you're looking at driving a better patient experience with location technology, with Zebra, with Aruba, and what they're able to develop, but also on the back end from a network optimization point of view, and making sure that that real-time locationing kind of open use case that you can have, you can continue to help solve for those different problems. And I think that as you look at that, it's just a faster problem resolution and being able to reach those outcomes that we've been talking about for the last few minutes. And I think that joint solution development, not only happens between now Aruba and Zebra, once that REST architecture is in place, now our other further partner ecosystems on either on the Aruba side, the Zebra side, or the joint ones that play in both spaces today can really kind of start delivering on some of the use cases that wasn't approachable before. So I think that there's an extreme value around that. And I would say one last point, sorry, Alexis, is that I think about the great thing too for our partner ecosystem, speaking to Zebra, with over having 10,000 partners globally, Aruba is a non-transactional partner. In fact, they were one of our first non-transactional partners. They're a strategic partner. So the value that we're driving together, our partner ecosystem can now take full advantage of it without looking at them as a competitor. They're a strategic enabler.
Fantastic. Thank you, Drew. So now I wanted to ask about one specific solution, UXI. It's a solution that Aruba developed, user experience insights. Can you tell me more about it and how that Aruba solution integrates into Zebra's devices?
Yeah, let me give you a little bit of history before I completely explain how we do it with Zebra, because I think that's important. What we saw a few years ago is we saw a trend that I think, you had SLAs in the past, that you manage something based on an SLA, and then you maybe got dynamic SLAs, so you had a little bit more flexibility. But we saw a trend where organizations or as a service solutions or anything that you want to do is more towards how is the end user perceiving the network infrastructure. So what I mean is you can do many things from an access point, but that's always the access point to the end user, then you're not measuring. And what you really want is you want to do end-to-end measurement. For example, if your end user does a voice call, what is his experience and how does that experience differentiate between, for example, in that retail or in that healthcare? So that is what user experience gives you. So you can really set up tests. For example, to download a file from SharePoint and then see the end-to-end user experience. Then you also measure the infrastructure components, so you have a full view of that user experience. So that's what we always had with separate sensors. And you have then one very simple dashboard with smileys. But with Zebra, the technology partnership is not just, let's say slideware, but we really go further. And we did a combined innovation. And that started with a device, what they have called Personal Shopper, which is a device with either I can start using, I live in the Netherlands and everybody is doing Zebra Personal, the shoppers in my country. But it can, for example, also be pickers that running around and getting the groceries, and I can come by and pick up the stores. But you want to measure how are these users of these devices, either the pickers or the personal shoppers, perceiving the network infrastructure? Are they always able to connect to the application to pick the groceries? Are they able to search something up? Maybe the employees, are they able to have that workforce connect or that push to talk? So what we did is we took a software agent, and we took that software agent, we installed that on that personal shopper device. And that now, out of a sudden, we can measure all these personal shoppers inside, for example, a retail store or maybe a warehouse, and measure that application and put that on a dashboard. And even further, we can add location context to it. So if something is wrong, we can immediately point where it is wrong, exactly in what location and where in that location. So that's the user experience insight story, and then that even evaluated into the combination with the partnership with Zebra.
Yeah, I think if you look at the value around it, it's clearly to analyze the network from a user perspective, as Dobius was talking about before, to really help solve proactively any kind of connectivity issues that you would have in those different environments, especially the use case that Dobius talked about with the personal shopping device, right? And if someone's having a good experience picking up that device, they've got their shopping list that they have, and they want to do a wayfinding or whatnot with the contextual location knowledge that they may have, making sure that customer, when they come in a brick and mortar store, they pick up that personal shopping device, that they have a very seamless, unique experience down to what they want to shop for, how they want to shop for it, and for how long is another keyword. So that connectivity, those user insights on that wireless engine that has jointly been developed is absolutely critical to deliver that in-store customer experience. And that really brings it to light. And I think that, other parts that Dobius mentioned before, critical applications for us, just as we were talking about labor before, warehouse workers, we're at this kind of balanced pendulum where we've got a ton of different labor jobs that are open within the warehouse. However, they're not being looked upon as people want to take them. So there's also automation that's coming into these warehouses, such as our robotics automation with our Fetch AMRs. And as you interject that into it as well, you also want to make sure that you're having great insights on the connectivity, whether it's a human worker with a device or whether it's a robot working around the warehouse, and having that balanced approach so that you can continue to drive efficiencies within that labor flow, whether it's robotic or human, and making sure that same connectivity is up and we're able to continue to drive the efficiencies on both the human side and the robotic side. But then going back into the retail setting, making sure that customers can have that great experience. And as Dobius said, it's ubiquitous across all the different environments. And I think it's down to those specific use cases where you can actually take a hold of that value, whether it's a patient experience within a healthcare center, or whether it's the in-store experience that you want to deliver to a customer, or really heightening your employer brand as being able to hire people because you're able to drive a better warehouse experience as well from a worker perspective. So all great things that can be delivered through that joint value of Aruba UXI and then Zebra Wireless Insights Engine.
Yeah, it's a good point. Actually, it's not so. I mentioned the personal shopper as an example, but it's any Zebra device from a certain Android version. So it's not just retail, but you can use this in, even for employee experience or another customer or patient experience, for example. One other thing I want to mention, which was for me really amazing to see. So even though we have a very simple dashboard, which shows with Smiley how everything is operating, also when there is something wrong, we go in triage mode. And even there, both companies are really complementary to each other. What was a big surprise to me is the amount of quality data Zebra devices collect. So for us, there is tons of wireless info that we collect, and we make it part of that triage mode. So if you need to do any troubleshooting, hope not for you, but if you need to do it, you have the device info, you have the network info, the infrastructure info, and everything is on the same dashboard available to you. So that's something I wanted to add, that it was, for me personally, really amazing to see the quality of data coming off these devices, which speed up the troubleshooting for you.
Fantastic. Thank you for that very comprehensive answer. So the next question is from a distribution perspective, Chido. How does Ingram enhance this alliance between Aruba and Zebra, and how do we support partners that want to leverage it?
Yeah, well, we as Ingram Micro are the leading and largest technology solutions provider with a global scale, a strong local knowledge and presence. Just to give you an impression, we are present in over 40 countries with a team of now over 220 dedicated DC POS specialists. We have the largest partner community, which are benefiting from our broad range of advanced solutions portfolio, which is including, for example, data capture point of sales, cybersecurity, data center networking, unified communications, cloud and IoT. Also, we are offering value-add services and solutions which are included credit and financing services, technical support, pre- and post-sales support, logistics and fulfillment services. I can run through if you want. It's a long list. Training and education. Well, as you can see, we have the capability to offer the entire solution, as we have other solution vendors in our portfolio as well. I believe it's very good to highlight that we are the only distributor who has both vendors, Zebra and Aruba, in our portfolio. Besides this, we have a strong relationship not only between the vendors and Ingram Micro, also the internal partnership with our teams are very strong. To just give you an example with the strong partnership, we are running the Zebra Aruba collaboration campaign very successfully in several regions like Italy, Spain, and Hungary. More to come, stay tuned. We are working on it. And just in a nutshell, Ingram Micro is the value-add distributor who helps our partners to grow their business with us together.
Fantastic. Thank you, Chido. So very last question for WS and Drew. So where do you see, and be open, I want to get your vision of the future moving forward as partners. Where do you see this alliance going? Where is this better together taking Aruba and Zebra?
So as a true partnership, Drew, I'm going to give this one to you first.
That's so kind of you, Dobius. Appreciate that. Hey, I think that, earlier on, Dobius talked about the word innovation. And I think that was one of the key principles of the partnership that he described. I believe it was number 3. And I think that, we are both sides of the coin. We have very talented teams. And I think that we're all very constantly working on further development and ideas on how we best can jointly serve our customers. And I think that, the way that the relationship's been developed over the past 5 years, we really kind of are a joint family. We might have Zebra and Aruba as kind of the folks that pay our paychecks, but we really kind of are that innovation family. And I think together, making the goals of, driving better connectivity of our Zebra Android portfolio and modalities, even better, and, through the expanded ecosystem we described before with 1 + 1 + 1 = 5. I think that, as additional partners continue to leverage, the Zebra Aruba innovations and solutions, I think they're going to take extreme advantage of everything that we can do to help add value through location. As being a Gartner leader ourselves and Aruba being massive experts in location as well, that combinatorial value plus innovation, plus the cultures that we've developed together, kind of interweave the two different companies into a partnership, I think is going to continue to deliver not only value jointly with Aruba and Zebra for our customers, but I think the expanded ecosystem that can take advantage of what we've built and we will build, continue together, I think is going to be, one of those things that not only brings further value to our customers, but drives the outcomes. But, as new problems get unfolded into the different environments, because as we said before, we serve all the different environments together, it will open up the toolbox to be able to solve for use cases that haven't been solved for before.
Yeah, I don't have so much to add to it. I'm 100% agree. And what you actually, I think one thing is also, of course, building out this latest innovation with UXI, which is already going extremely well with Ingram and Zebra and Aruba. The other side is, of course, looking for more innovation out there, as long as it solves the right problems. That is, I think we are both very outcome focused. What you also start to see now, which is also interesting, is that, Zebra has a technology partnership ecosystem. We have it. What you're also now trying to see is additional innovation on top of the two of us. So where you have, for example, an application provider adding additional location contacts or maybe additional analytics. So that's, I think, another thing that will start resonating over time where many other vendors or innovators start to involve with us.
Yeah, I just one last part to click on with Adobe. I think, years ago, I quoted the term data is the new device. And I think what Adobe has just said is the transformational nature of where we're at today, just with the power of the joint technology, is contextual data is the new device and the new oil. And I think that contextual data is going to drive so many different tools that people can take and deliver in applications or, deliver on a new use case. I think that contextual data, with the combinatorial value of Zebra and Aruba together is just so powerful and will continue to grow in value as we continue to develop those things from a contextual data perspective.
Fantastic. Well, thank you very much, everyone, for these great answers. Chido, Tobias, Drew, thank you for joining. It's been a real pleasure. Finally, one word to our audience. Don't forget to visit our Ingram Horizon site if you're interested in learning more about this partnership that we've discussed today and how can Ingram help you get it on that path. And as always, thank you for watching.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.